Well, BP is hoping for a recovery after the Gulf oil crisis, but my next guest says its CEO, Tony Hayward, may end up the public scapegoat for the company if he isn't already. He's Oppenheimer oil analyst Fadel Gheit joins me now. Fadel, nice to see you again. And a lot of talk, particularly over the weekend with some reports saying that Hayward may be going as well as the chairman. How much validity do you put into that?
Well, I don't know. It's really not for us to speculate on who goes and who stays. But there is no question in my mind that they did not handle the crisis well, especially at the beginning. Tony, unfortunately, made some comments that stuck in the public mind for a long period and is still haunting him. The chairman did not help himself either by saying that we care for the little people. Obviously, there was lost in the translation English here. Unfortunately, with the spill, everything now is being blamed on Tony Hayward. You have to remember, 3 years ago when he took over, he turned the company around. He really did, and he should get credit for that. He was a hero until April 20, and then his word and BP word collapsed right before his eyes. So it's unfortunate. In this business, it's like obviously, you know, the media is very important. And
right, but Fadel, I mean, whether or not you believe he should go or not, doesn't he need to because it's becoming a distraction?
I'm not sure. I mean, if he steps out of the way and he manages the company, the rest of the company, remember, BP is not only the oil spill. BP is conducting business throughout the world. BP produces 4 million barrels of oil and gas a day. BP employs 100,000 people. So there's a lot of things to be managed here. I think Bob Dudley is very capable. I think he's the right choice. I think he should have been done a lot sooner. But if Tony Hayward can stay out of the public eye for the next 2 to 3 months when they cap the well and start cleaning up the mess that they created, I think the company would be better off, shareholders would be better off, and he doesn't have to go.
Right, I mean, and that would be great, but I think it'd be hard for Hayward to escape the public eye at this point. But Fadel, let me just turn to some other things going on, because like you said, this is more than just about Hayward and Zunberg. It's also about, you know, the assets. And there's a lot of people or companies expressing interest in the assets. But there's also, we had that story out about the Libyan oil minister saying that shares of BP are attractive now.
Absolutely. We held a conference call here at Oppenheimer 3 weeks ago, and I received a lot of calls from what traditionally be the debt investor, people who buy the bond. And they told me that there are a lot of sovereign funds very interested in buying first the debt. And then finally they said, listen, the equity is even a lot cheaper and a lot more interesting. And I know who they are. And obviously, because we said we're going to keep this private,
you can't name them.
There are a lot of them. There are a lot in the Middle East, China, in Europe, sovereign fund that they believe that BP assets are extremely undervalued, and BP will survive this, whether or not you know, the stock will recover to its $60. They are not looking at that. The other thing is very important. A lot of people.
Okay, no, go ahead. What was the other thing that's important?
I was marketing last week, the week before last, in the South, and some of the states that were impacted by the oil spill. And believe it or not, their public employee pension fund, the state pension fund, is investing very heavily in BP stock.
Okay, but what has got them so positive on the survivability of BP?
Well, I am very positive with the survivability of BP. BP has assets probably $350 billion. Even if I throw $100 billion admin and future liabilities, there's still $250 billion of assets that will be left. That is based on the current shares outstanding. That's about $68 per share. So we're definitely discounting BP significantly.
Fadel, thanks so much. I appreciate you always coming on talking about BP. Fadel Gheit, oil and gas analyst at Oppenheimer.